When I was about 10 years old, my parents got divorced, and I took on the identity of an unloved and abandoned little girl. And so I started using drugs, and when I graduated high school, I started working in a nightclub where I got even deeper into drugs, and I eventually became fully dependent on them. I found myself in multiple toxic relationships that were extremely damaging to my worth and my value. It just led to more and more depression and anxiety. I had realized that I had hit rock bottom, and I had been trapped in this cycle that I needed to break, and the community around me had claimed to find healing and peace in New Age practices and yoga. So I went down this deeply spiritual path, and I was able to become sober, but I had traded one addiction for another, and I became addicted to meditation and to communication with what I thought were good spirits. The deeper I got into the spiritual realm, the more I felt like I was being held hostage, and I found myself back in the cycle of anxiety and depression, and just back in such a dark place, until one day my friend invited me to church. That day in church, I just knew with everything in me that the pastor was telling the truth. I knew that I had a heavenly Father who loved me and would never leave me, and who died for me to save me from my sin and the life that I was trapped in. I had asked Jesus to come into my heart that day, and I no longer needed to seek peace in crystals and yoga and New Age spiritual practices. I had found the Prince of Peace. So I moved to North Carolina, and the Lord led me to 2 cities where He opened so many doors for me. It's where I met my husband. It's where I got plugged into just a very solid community group of men and women who are extremely supportive and prayerful and servant-hearted. I now have so many friendships and a marriage that's built on Christ and godly values, and the relationships are so much deeper and much more supportive and fruitful and edifying than any relationship that I had ever had in the past. God has been so faithful and gracious, and He has fulfilled all of His promises in my life. He gave me a new identity as a daughter of the King, redeemed and beloved. He gave me a confidence and a peace that could only come from knowing that I am chosen and loved by the God of the universe.